back. My name is Tim Bell, the author of How to Play Piano Quick. Today is going to be your first lesson. This is the lesson called C major. And the C major scale is the scale that's all white keys. We're going to figure out how to play it using our finger numbers. You remember the fingers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take these fingers. We're going to start with the right hand. And the right hand starts with the middle C, which will be located here on your piano. And we would go, and I'm going to do it slow. And this is what you practice on. It'll be finger 1, 2, 3. Then when you get to finger 4, you sneak that thumb under and you go back to finger 1, which will be F. Then you go finger 2, finger 3, finger 4. Then in How to Play Piano Quick, we discipline you and make you play finger 1 with the thumb again, which would be finger 1, and you'll be back on C. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That is your finger pattern for the right hand. And then when you're going backwards, it'll go 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. And when you get it smooth, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. That's your right hand, using proper fingering and proper technique. Because what happens is, if you don't have good technique, you won't be able to develop the speed. So you want to get that smoothness so you can go up and it walks up like a little spider and then it walks back down. So you take it slow. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, re, mi, do. And so if you remember back from the intro, we talked about the distance between the notes. So the distance from between C to D is a whole step, then a half a step, then a whole step, then a whole step, then a whole step, then a half a step. So we'll go back. It'll be a whole, you start on C, it'll be a whole step to D, whole step, then a half a step, then a whole step, then a whole step, the whole step, half step. Now what is it that creates that major scale sound? Always remember this, and we'll keep going over it. It's the steps, how far you travel in order to hit the next note. Because if you don't have the steps in the right spot, when you change key, it's not gonna have that same sound. So now let's switch over. We're gonna go to our left hand. Left hand starts from the middle C down. So anytime you're going left of your middle C is going to be your left hand. And so we're going to start with the low note. The left hand usually carries your bass side of your piano. So we're going to start with finger 5. The pattern is going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Let's try it one time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. That's simple enough. Now you walk back down. 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the key to disciplining yourself to use the proper fingers is in order to create the smoothness and the accuracy that your hand can move quickly without thinking about where you're going. So it's like muscle memory. You'll remember by the finger movements. See, I can do it in my sleep, but you got to create that pattern. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, Once you master, and the exercise that you do, your first exercise is you do right hand, then you do left hand. Then you do left hand, then you do right hand. Okay, that is your major scale using both hands. Now, it's one more thing that you got to learn, because the piano plays harmony with itself. So what we're going to teach you today is we got a major scale. A major scale is a group of notes that's in a set pattern, and it sounds like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's a major scale. But now we're going to talk to you about C major chord. And if you do a major chord equals the first note, the third note, and the fifth note of the scale. If we have our illustration here of the major scale, you will see is 3 white notes, and they're all down, because a major scale is 2 or more notes played at the same time. That's what a chord is. So when you play in the major chord, you'll take the first note, just think of your major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But we're going to take the first one, the third one, and the fifth one, and play them at the same time. That equals a major chord. Then you do it with your left hand. You play with finger 5, finger 3, and finger 1. That creates a major chord. And it says, if you use do, re, mi, it says do, mi, so, do, mi, so. Now, once you master that major chord, then the left hand, then right hand, then left hand. Now, we got the chord. Now you're going to do 2 things at one time. That's how people play piano. And it's going to sound really pretty. It might be a little difficult when you first try it, but like they told you in the intro, the human mind tolerates what gives it pleasure. What gives it pleasure is what it can do without thinking. So when you first start learning something, you got to think a lot. So our job is to learn to think, and then it will begin to give you pleasure. So first we're going to do the chord and the scale at the same time. We're going to do our C major chord with the left hand, and we're going to play the C major scale at the same time. You see what I'm saying? That's not that hard. Now you do it again. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Then you go back down. Now, only thing you're going to do, you're just going to switch hands. You're going to put the chord on the right hand, and you're going to do your scale on the left hand. At the same time, when you hit that first note, you push your whole chord down. Then you hit the chord again at the end. And when people hear you doing that, they're going to think you know how to play. There you go. That's your exercise. We got one more exercise that we do using C major scale. It's a chord visualization exercise. It helps you to see the chord before you get to it. And we call it up the street and down the road. And it goes like this. You play with the left hand first. You play in the C major chord, and it's going to go do, mi, so. Then you play the chord with your right hand. Then you go left hand. In the same spot where your left hand was, you switch. Then you go back down, left hand first. Sounds pretty, so but it takes a little bit of work, but you just gotta go slow. Do, mi, so, 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 do, mi, so. Then you go back down the road. Left hand first. Right hand. Left hand. Right hand. Left hand. Right hand. Left hand. That's it. That's your whole exercise. You practice on 3 things. You practice on scale, chord, and scale. Switch hands. Then you practice on up the street, down the road. Okay, we're ready, and don't pass this section until you get it memorized, because next we're going to F major.